A travel writer, broadcaster, tour guide, a lover of foods, has combined his passions to create the food legends and icons of the Palmetto State. We've got Chuck D'Imperio here. Welcome. Good to see you.
Always good to be here. Yeah, talking food.
Talking food as always. And this is your map. Oh, thanks for catching that. So you created this map of South Carolina because we actually see if we can place that in there. They'll get a good close-up.
Sure.
The map covers these iconic spots around South Carolina, what they're famous for, and this is your kind of research, right?
It is, it is. This is actually the second in a series. I did one in New York, and that was a hit, and I thought, you know, I'm going to go to another state, and South Carolina was in the target, and once I started doing the research, the food in South Carolina is just absolutely awesome.
And I'm seeing, you know, the stecca bread is there, the mayonnaise. You just did research for every area.
We have it from Myrtle Beach, we have it in Columbia, we have here in Greenville, we have it out on the coast, we have it in the Lowcountry, and they're all fantastic. And I did a little research on each one. I commissioned an artist out of London, England, who does these posters. She'd never done a food poster before.
Oh, wow.
She shoved 25 of them in there, and people are just loving them, and they look great on a kitchen wall.
Yeah, you said a lot of people hanging them on the kitchens. Ariel walked past here and said, "Oh, that is amazing. I love that." Like, it's just a really eye-catching piece of work.
Well, it's whimsical, it's colorful, and it also comes with a 12-page little booklet that describes why I put these foods in the map.
All right. Well, each one has a story. So there's a booklet that goes alongside the map.
True.
But most people think of Georgia as being the peach state. But South Carolina actually produces almost 3 times more. And the giant peach water tower in Gaffney is a big icon of that.
You know, maybe the most recognizable landmark, if you will, is, of course, the Peachtoid is the official name for it. But we all call it something different. Right on I-85 at Gaffney, it cost $1 million to build, and that was, you know, it holds 1 million gallons of water. It has all kinds of records that it set, and yeah, and it's a tribute to the peaches that we make here in grow here in South Carolina. And it was a surprise. Georgia has a peach on their license plate. The sign going down south on 85 says, "Welcome to Georgia, the peach state." And I'm like, wait a second. We have 3 times as many peaches here in South Carolina.
So petitioning for a change, we can be the peach state.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, most people coming south, when they hit, like the snowbirds from the New England area heading to Florida or down here, when they hit that peach tower, they know they're in the South.
And that peach has been in film and on screen, created a little bit of controversy in its day.
It did. Actually, for those of you who are fans of House of Cards, it was in the first season, episode 3, when apparently a lady in the show got in an accident trying to look up at it, and they went there and they filmed it. Once that filming took place, tourists started coming in to see it. There's a little park underneath it, picnic tables now underneath it. It's a very cool item, no doubt about it.
All right, so peaches, obviously iconic, you know, important to our state's tradition. The next food legend to highlight for us is a Lowcountry favorite. We've got a can right here, Hoppin John. What makes this dish such an icon, and what's its story?
These are the great stories. I mean, a peach, everybody knows about a peach. Hoppin John is really a significant little story from the Lowcountry. It's been around forever. It was brought by enslaved people into the South, so that's the roots there. Hoppin John is, you know, it's got sausage in it, it's got black-eyed peas in it, spices, and everybody makes it a little bit different. But it is a New Year's tradition to serve a Hoppin John, and that's what I did not know. And so they serve it on New Year's Day. It brings good luck, and there's all kinds of the ingredients have symbolism. For example, the black-eyed peas represent coins. The collard greens, which is usually served with, represents paper money. And sometimes people actually put real money underneath the soup tureen or the stew tureen that they're serving. Named maybe after a guy that was hobbling around Charleston, but the name Hoppin John is really kind of lost in time.
And how does it connect with this bottle we have of dark corn syrup, Caro?
Well, it doesn't. That is the nexus of the pecan pie. That is the nexus of the pecan pie.
Well, we've got to get into the pecan pie because you picked up a pecan pie for us.
You're kidding. This is a masterpiece, absolute masterpiece. I want to thank Suzanne Kimes, the great staff at the Buttermilk Sky out on 2222 Augusta Street. Look at this thing. It's just absolutely fantastic. Pecan pie. Pecan started in Galveston, Texas, came across the Gulf of Mexico, worked their way up to South Carolina, and boom, here it is. Perhaps the most symbolic pie in South Carolina. And the interesting thing is it came over in the 1890s, but it really didn't take off. And then in the Depression era, Caro syrup was struggling a little bit, so they decided in 1930 to put a recipe for a pecan pie on the back of their syrup. And then it took off. And they still do that. 100 years later, the recipe is still on the bottle of Caro syrup today.
Fantastic. You love to find that history. So as you maybe slice a piece, if we should have some dessert.
Pies are not meant to be looked at.
No.
They're meant to be eaten.
Okay.
So if you don't mind.
I would love you to slice and then continue teaching. You know, what else do you learn about pecans on your journey as you slice?
Do we need silverware, or can you and I just eat this with our hands?
Just get in there. We'll
I'm gonna
throw it onto the plate, however. I'm sure they would have made it a lot prettier at the pie store, but we'll do what we can.
So the foods on here, I will say this. A lot of people who have said, why did you put a certain food in a certain place? And the reason is, the map is crowded. Obviously, the map is crowded.
Yeah,
so I tried to find places that have festivals, and I call that the home, if you will.
That makes sense.
For example, pecans. Florence, South Carolina, has a huge pecan festival. Every year, 50,000 people go to Florence.
Yeah.
All right. They had one of the earliest cookbooks with a pecan recipe in it. And so we put Florence as the home of the pecan pie because the festival is there.
Just goes to show you're not the only one passionate about this stuff. They have entire festivals, and we love learning all about this culinary history. Will you come back in a few weeks and do some more?
I can't wait. Can I bring more food?
Well, okay. Yes, absolutely.
Why is everybody gathering now that the pie is out?
Okay, we're going to gather for pie. Chuck D'Imperio, thank you so much, the creator of Food Legends and Icons of the Palmetto State. And people can learn more on your Facebook page, how to get this poster and learn all about it. A Taste of South Carolina. Thank you so much. And Access Carolina will be back after we have this pie.